Hello, Taurus, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be looking at everything you need to know here in the new year. By the way, if you want to watch your December video, it's on the main channel page. Otherwise, welcome, and let's get started. As always, I like to begin my readings with channeled messages, and in dreams this morning, I was connecting with the image of a starfish. This is really auspicious for a number of reasons. The first and foremost of those is because it's basically regenerative. So what's cool about sea stars is they have the capacity, if there's a limb that's cut off at a certain point, to grow it back, much like a gecko can regenerate its tail. And this means that if there were any setbacks, losses, or difficulties, you're really entering into a period now where you can start to see this sort of bounce back energy. So January is opening you up to growth and regeneration. It's of course star related because it's in the shape of this, so a star leads the way. It's an encouragement for you to be your own North Star. In other words, not sort of to be a template or cookie cutter of what other people are doing. So step out, make a splash, do something that's unique. And one of the most important and unique elements of a starfish is it doesn't have a normal brain. It has like a central nervous system, but the lack of a brain is actually an encouragement for you to get out of your headspace a bit and just to let things go and let things go with the flow. And starfish actually use water to move. They pump it through their system, and it's kind of like this hydraulic system that lets them navigate the ocean floor. So for you, we can see this as taking a deep breath and just entering into the new year, trusting in the energetic flow and all of the work that you've been doing in December to basically land on your feet here. Okay, so to me, this is an exciting time, but the difficulty here could be in thinking through things in a way that creates a block, like fear or anxiety, or even just making something bigger than it needs to be. Trust in your own vision and trust in your own ability and just go with it one step at a time. January is also opening up an opportunity for you to be a little bit more coordinated. When we look at the bottom of a starfish, you'll see all of those little tubes. They look like little fingers. They need to be moving in the right sort of order at the right time so that it can go in the direction that it needs to. So there may be a lot of moving parts to projects, and you want to make sure that those are all going in the right direction. You may also be involved in larger group activities, so there might be a chance for you to step into a leadership role since we have the star imagery coming through. No matter how you look at it, coordination is going to be key. So make sure that you're taking time to plan, to reevaluate all of these moving pieces, and keep them going at the right direction, the right speed at the right time. Finally, again, looking at your own sort of path and trying to do something that feels right for you. This is not about appeasing others or fitting into something that's expected. This is really a chance to forge new path or new sort of exploration and have some fun with it. It's great to take a risk and go into the unknown, and I really think that 2024 is opening up those kinds of growth opportunities, especially for Taurus. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards, and intermittently we'll come back to this symbol as necessary, but right now let's see what the cards have to say. All right, let's begin. Again, you can read this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Let's see what's coming through for Taurus in the month of January 2024. If you stick around until the latter portion, we'll also go into greater depth on that sun, rising, and moon information. So I do hope you stick around. See, we have two cards here that want to stick together, so we're going to allow both of those to come through. Sometimes the cards have a mind of their own. Today you have two catalyst cards, the Divine Intervention card and also Trusting the Process. Let's look at each one of these close up and talk about them. So the first of the two says, weigh up your options and choose the highest good. You can't please everybody, and sometimes doing the right thing, it's not the popular thing. This card empowers you to do what you must, even and especially when it's not popular, as long as it's connected to higher purpose, higher good. That's what you have to kind of step into. It's not always easy, but when you're an adult, when you're a leader, this is sometimes the necessary step, okay? We then see what the universe has beneath this. So imagine that the universe has your back. This is what this message says. Trust in the process. Create space for divine order to unfold. What could be happening for some of you is people or opportunities could be moving away when you decide to go in this new direction, but that space around you is actually opening up opportunities for a higher frequency partnership, for a better connection, something that's more deserving of your energy. And the main component that the universe needs you to have right now is trust. All right, let's take a look at your center card. We have the Two of Wands crossed by the Two of Pentacles. Folks, this is that choice that was coming through with this particular divine intervention card. So what's happening here is limited time, energy, or resources, and a couple of options in front of you that you really have to make a choice between. Sometimes it's not black and white. Sometimes both may seem appealing, but what the universe is saying is with finite energy and resources, it's better to focus. The more you know what you're doing, the more clear you are, the bigger impact that you can make, and possibly even the faster you can get through something. So for some of you, it's going to be either or. You're going to choose one path over another. For some of you, this could be prioritization. This first, then that. Either way, you're the visionary. You're the one that's figuring out what to do. So the Two of Wands is a great card for planning, for clarifying, for exploring the alternatives and the opportunities, and then ultimately deciding and saying, this is what I want. It's hard. I know it's hard sometimes to be the deciding voice, but that also is part of being a leader and part of being the star energy, which we were talking about earlier. This is also not just a resource card, but a call to balance your life. This can be how much you're working versus how much time you're spending with loved ones. It can also be prioritizing certain things like health and well-being. It's not just about school or work. And not losing yourself in any given activity. This includes relationships, like falling head over heels for someone. You need to find that balance so that everything has a place. And that's also one of the big opportunities. So making your mind up basically to what you want to do and how you're going to do it, and then finding necessary balance in your life. One last note, since this can be a resource card, at least when we're starting off the brand new year, you want to basically make sure that you have a little bit of extra, a little bit of contingency, because there may be some things that you need or want at the end of the month. And it's kind of like a long distance run. You don't want to extinguish all of that energy right at the start, okay? So a little bit of planning will go a long way in this new year. And now let's see what's coming through in the deep past. All right, I really love these two cards back to back here. So this is the deep past, this is the recent past. It's an end to disappointment or frustration, and it's also a chance for many of you to heal, and this is opening you up to unlimited potential. There's a bonus card in this deck. It's like number 23, the fountain. We have the infinity sign there. We'll talk more about it in a second. To get to that unlimited energy, though, it's about releasing pain, disappointment, fear, anxiety, whatever might have been the baggage of 2023. It no longer has a place at the table in this new year. But before you can dismiss it, you have to go into your own heart and say, am I good? And if there's anything that you need to do to help with the healing process or with the release process, that's priority number one. This should be what you're working on before New Year's and right around New Year's, so that the rest of this month can really be impactful and you're not feeling like there's an albatross or an anchor that you're kind of having to deal with. This is your chance to be liberated. The recent past is unlimited potential here. The fountain card, as we can see here, is almost like this Stargate. For those of you that happen to watch 2001, A Space Odyssey, this looks like what you see towards the end of the movie where he goes into a Stargate. So this means that there's a portal, a breakthrough, a big opportunity, a big door opening. And all of the prep work that we see here, finding balance, making a decision, and letting go of disappointment, allows you to jump through the portal, not just step through it, because we have love, happiness, creativity, some really cool stuff here that wants to come through. There's a big change in your environment that could also be a part of this. So for some of you, this is a move. You might be getting a transfer for work. You might be moving in with someone. It's a choice on many levels because the Tower is reversed. Some of you see it coming and you're like, I want to make this change. And I like what this change can do for you. Ultimately, most of the other cards that we see here are very, very positive. So we have a wild card and we have 2 cards of challenge or opportunity, but the rest of the month is manageable. So let's talk about why it's so good to get on your feet right at the beginning of the month and find that balance. So find your work-life balance or prioritize your health so that you can receive what the Queen of Cups wants to bring in, which could be new love. It could be, just generally speaking, happier times for those of you that have been going through some trials and tribulations. This could also be you stepping into your creative power, because this combined with the 2 of Wands is a really creative, visionary sort of energy. And at the end of the day, this is just a really highly receptive card. So in your meditation practice, use mantra to empower it. I'm ready to receive, and then put what it is in the highest form. So I'm ready to receive love, abundance, opportunity, blessings, all in the highest forms, all even faster than I might have anticipated, because what? You are ready. And I think that's the key piece. I am ready. And see yourself as deserving, capable, and prepared. And then you are that Queen of Cups with the chalice upright, ready to bring it all in. All right. As we look at the near future, cycles are coming to a close, and there's a chance for you to take a step back and evaluate. The 8 of Cups came through reversed for you, but let's look at it upright for a moment. We can see a person walking away from something in order to gain perspective. Maybe you feel guilty for taking the break, but this card came through today to say not only is it okay to rest, to reflect, but it's a necessary component of growth. It allows you to see the progress that you've made, and it also lets you see the new roads and paths that are around you. And for some of you, maybe this brand new portal that's opening up. So take a break, take a moment, a day or 2 or a week or something, to just recalibrate. And if you haven't done goal setting, whenever you're watching this video, take a moment to make one goal that you feel like you can really put yourself behind and see progress on, and allow yourself to focus on that for a day or 2 and see what you can do with it. Now, here's some other things with the 8 of Cups that we can talk about. This is also a call to end any cycles that aren't helping you but kind of are persisting. This can basically constitute an on and off again relationship. It can be a relationship at work or a love relationship, but typically what's happening is it's not necessarily going anywhere. I talked about the rinse and repeat sort of thing. Same thing here. It's never going to the next cycle on it like a dishwasher. So we need to get it into the next mode. And you're basically freeing yourself and freeing someone else up from that. It's almost a codependent energy or just a stuck energy. So explore the options out there. You can always come back to this, but the encouragement is to see if there isn't a better use of your time and energy. So all 3 of these are very compatible. This is finding balance, this is making a decision, and for some of you, this is moving on, okay? And that's really what I see with all of this. One last note with 8 of Cups, particularly reversed. If you need to shut the door on something, like you're quitting a job or you're trying to end a relationship and it's been kind of like dragged out a little bit longer than it needs to be very clear in your intentions, because this card can be a little wishy-washy when combined with this. So you want to say, without a shadow of a doubt, no or yes, so that everybody's clear and so that you can open yourself up to new things. Let's see how you're presenting yourself. Really great energy, particularly when connected to this. So you have 2 of Cups energy, which can be love, relationship, partnership, and we have the same complementary energy here in the crowning card. In the broadest interpretation, the 2 of Cups is magnetic, just like Lovers, 6 of Cups, 4 of Wands, etc. It basically means that if you are to interact with others this month, it's easier to make a connection. That's a really powerful thing. So whether you're seeking new friends, new community connections, new love, or you just want to succeed in business, you have this potential to really make an impact with others. In other words, this is not a month to kind of put hermit energy in practice. You really want to get out there, mix, mingle, network, and it's going to be a beneficial thing for you. And of course, with these two cards, yes, this is a month for love and relationships to take center stage if you'd like them to. So many of you may have a new water sign coming in, or you're just very open to explore relationships in general. As always, we'll get into that a little more when I expand the forecast, but first things first, let's see what's going on in the environment. Some major changes. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about with the Tower. It can be a voluntary change, like I said, change of job, change of relationship status, typically something where you see that there needs to be movement and you engage with it. You can see a Tower reversed coming, whereas a Tower upright takes your breath away and you have to deal with it. There's a choice with this though. Are you going to wait and be the agent of change? Or do you want to see what the other person or the other party is going to do instead? I would encourage you to be the voice of reason, to lead by example, to kind of exhibit that star energy, because we saw that coming through with your totem. And it's much easier to adjust to something when you're part of the solution and you're part of the action than trying to play catch up. Now, this has a different note if we're just looking at your office, your home, or just energy around you. A Tower reverse can show clutter. So some of you right here, right now, there might be some stuff around you that needs to be cleared or cleaned. Organization. This is a good month for organization, but specifically spatial organization. So cleaning closets, cleaning your files, getting organized, and knowing that by doing that, you're actually going to help the flow of energy and opportunity to kind of come through a lot easier, because cluttered spaces tend to hold things kind of like barnacles. It just gets stuck. So when you start to open it up, everything gets clearer and easier for you to see. And for those of you that have to get in that deciding mode, yes or no, or whatever's next, this will help you be more decisive. There could also be renovation happening for some of you. Maybe you're adding on to your house, or you're repairing things. This can be like repairing the roof, repairing tires on your car. This can also be elective things like elective surgery. There's changes that you're involved with, mostly positive from what I can see based on all the cards. You just want to be on top of them, and that's the only general note with this, okay? Now let's see what's coming through in hopes, fears, and opportunities. The main thing is a lack of patience. Temperance in the upright position would be cool, calm, and collected. And when the card is reversed, there is this sort of frustration. Why can't I get this done faster? Does the universe have my back? Hint, it does. But sometimes it feels like, you know, as you're looking at everybody else's progress, that you feel like you have to play catch up. Slow down, be present, and allow for things to be fully fleshed out before you decide to go to the next step, okay? Normally we would see an angel on this card representing guidance, and there's usually a path behind it. So the path will reveal itself, but you just have to have faith and belief in your own ability. And also, as we talked about with these two beautiful cards here, once you've made your mind up, trust that the divine director is stepping through here. This is your angel or guide, and there's going to be something beautiful unfolding in the horizon, okay? All in divine time, all in the highest good. Now, as we take a look at where it's all leading, well, we have the Four of Swords in reverse. For those of you that were impatient, try not to be, because I actually see the pace picking up. And there may even be a little bit of regret that you didn't just enjoy the lull a bit. So if for those of you that are trying to, whether it's like find a job, find a relationship, you know, have a child, whatever it is right now, there's a little bit of a lull. That's so you can have self-care, perspective, and then it feels like there's going to be a big catch-up period where there's a breakthrough. Really, January is a breakthrough month for you. The fountain is opening up infinite opportunities, but you have to be willing to be at peace with what you're currently dealing with, and then it's kind of like a sprinting period, and that's what I see February starting to hint to be a little bit. So save some energy, have some faith, do the work that you need to this month, and some great doors of opportunity will be opening up. If not in January, definitely February, we're seeing that sort of fountain energy coming through, and abundance and opportunity as well. All right, let's go ahead and expand this to look at areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Lo and behold, we have the wood bird, which if we read this caption is what? Rest and retreat. That is the second time we've had that message come through. So suffice it to say, the universe is saying, take care of yourself, relax a little bit right now. And if we take a look here at the deep past, we have that 3 of Swords and the 4 of Swords as the answer. And let's talk about this a little bit because the traditional illustration really drives it home here. So your traditional 3 of Swords, what you would expect, the swords through the heart representing a setback, disappointment, or just something that you didn't expect. Through rest and through sort of this reflection process comes this new vitality, this new idea, this new ability, another ace basically. We see the 3 swords no longer causing that pain. Now you've put it to rest, and that's what this sepulcher is, and something new comes through. You only get that if you give yourself a break. And it could literally just be, or figuratively just be that, like, be kind to yourself, give yourself a break. So you may need to take time out. You may just need to be kind to yourself. Either way, that's going to help you out. And as I said before, this can be a vacation. This can be sleep. Some of you may be having difficulty in getting the quality or the quantity of sleep that you need, in which case, obviously, you'll work with your doctor to see what might be causing that. There might be some things that you can adjust, like caffeine and exercise, but there may be some other things that you need to explore. However you sort of figure that out, this could be one of the missing pieces is rest. So please take care of yourself. Definitely allow yourself time for rest and relaxation and retreat. All of these things are going to benefit you in the long run. Let's look at some other things that might be affecting general health and well-being. As I said before, there could just be some emotional sensitivity or some pain, sadness, or fear from the previous year that you're pulling into this one. It would be a good chance to talk to someone about that. The sooner you can process and understand this, the sooner you can open up to new opportunities, to love, to friendship or partnership. And at the end of the day, all of these things are really good things. So it does take a moment, though, to grieve or process this. There's a lot of change going on. This could also be, by the way, construction around your home or apartment. That could be causing a lack of rest or concentration. And so maybe, again, for something like this, you need some time away. If you are doing renovation work, you might also need a temporary place. Some other things that we're looking at here just happen to be general balance issues. We're not just talking about work-life balance, but it could also be some sort of imbalance, whether nutritional or even like inner ear. Obviously, standard disclaimer applies for all of these things. You should talk to a doctor if you see them. But what I'm basically picking up on are the energetic patterns for these health things. So take it as you will, okay? The good news here is once you have a clear vision of what you want to do, there's a lot of things that want to come through. So many of these are presenting as emotional or environmental, and I feel like you have a good chance of overcoming those or dealing with those. The only thing that might be a little challenging, and we'll look more at that when we go into relationships, could be that there's someone around you that's going through a significant moment. Some of you might also be processing grief because the 4 of Swords and the Tower card could be a recent loss. But other than that, most of this is manageable. And in fact, some of it is very, very beneficial, especially the Queen of Cups energy. New happiness, new creativity. We just want to get all of the foundations really firmed up so that you can embrace it and enjoy it, right? That's what this is all about, folks. The bird also has to do with the throat chakra since it's communication. So speaking about whatever it is that really brings happiness or sadness or emotions to your life, expressing yourself, in other words, making sure that you are allowed to speak up and to be your own authentic self. All right, let's move on to wealth. This is your life purpose, your career, and it's your connection to abundance. Whether you're working or whether you're retired, we all need to have a connection to wealth, and that's what we're looking at here. The symbol associated with wealth this month is the hummingbird. And normally this would be a fast-paced symbol, but it is reversed. So now we are seeing a very common theme here. We had the 8 of Cups, asking you to get some perspective. We have the 4 of Swords, rest. We just talked about resting and retreat here. Same thing coming through here. Now we can look at this in a very different way because it's about conserving resources. Each and every night, a hummingbird goes into torpor, which is this deep sleep. And in that deep sleep, the metabolic rate goes down, the heart rate goes down, and it stays in that lowered state throughout the evening so it can just rest and it doesn't have to go and drink all of this nectar all night long. And the next day is a reset, at which point it awakens and it starts the process anew. So for some of you, it's also just about doing that, thinking each day is a chance for me to reset and try something with a new set of eyes, fresh perspective, not sort of focusing so much on, I didn't do this yesterday, or this hasn't happened yet. Well, what can you do today? What might you do tomorrow? Stay forward looking. That's also highly connected with what we have here at the center, the Two of Wands. Don't lose perspective. It's easy for emotions or for disappointment to get in the way, but by slowing down and recalibrating each day, you're going to be able to get past that. Also, by conserving your resources, this is money and energy, you are going to be able to make it through any challenge that might be thrown your way, especially if there's a lot going on, and we'll talk about the Tower in a moment, but there could be some disarray, some unexpected twists and turns. If you are pacing yourself and you're not kind of going all in energetically or monetarily, then you're going to have that extra contingency to deal with the challenges that you need to face, okay? Let's shift the focus now and look at three major areas, starting with those in a job, then looking for a job, and those that are either retired or unemployed. We're going to start off with those that are currently in a job. There's some major movement happening. We can't escape the energy of the Tower in the environment. For some of you, this could actually just be difficulty in focusing. So for those that work in a very open work environment, whether it is an assembly line or it's one of the new open office spaces where there are no walls and you can hear and see and smell everything that's going on, it can sometimes be very difficult for you to focus. I spent a very brief window of that the last 2 years of my corporate job. They kind of knocked down all of the, what did you call them? The cubes. And then it was just one big open space. It was so distracting. Can I say that? You could hear everything, see everything. You could smell the food next to you. It was difficult. So I get it. Some of you may need to carve out spaces to focus when that happens, and maybe just evaluate if this makes sense for you. This can also represent a merger, a takeover, a new boss, new energy or opportunities opening. There's a lot of movement and change, and this is why the rest and the recalibration is key. If you are clear mentally and if your body is really well taken care of, then you are going to have that full tank of gas to deal with everything that you need to. So don't sell yourself short when it comes to self-care this month. It will help you embrace these breakout opportunities, okay? There is, for some of you, untapped potential. If sometimes you just need to ask or suggest a role or interest in an opportunity for that to happen. And it could be as easy as saying, I want to try this. There may be a trade-off. There may be something significant, including a move, but I think it might be worth it if this is something that you have your eye on, okay? So this can be seen as a breakthrough together, but it does require vocalizing or speaking up. And we don't really have swords here in the way that I want it to be, like a knight or a king or something of that nature. So you're gonna have to step forward and speak up. There may be too many things on your plate. This is really about finding that balance, pushing some things off, delegating, saying no, etc. If you're not getting paid enough or supported enough, this is also about illustrating and underlining what that lack is, bringing it to someone's attention. And if they don't take action on that, then it's time to move in a new direction. It is worth bringing up though, because you have the card of partnership this month. So you do have the potential to convey things in a really compelling way. So don't sell yourself short when it comes to that capacity to really be engaging. You can do it, but you do have to speak up in order for that to happen sometimes. Travel could be difficult to deal with for some of you, maybe because it takes you away from your family or loved ones. So speak up if that's not what you want. Let me see if there's anything else going on here that's worth mentioning. I think we just want to make sure that if there's any grievances, if there's anything where you just feel like I can't move into 2024 without dealing with this, maybe you need to talk to someone about that at the job, or you need to deal with your own sort of energy first so that, again, these doors that might be opening, you're able to see them, embrace them, and feel like you're on solid ground. At the end of the day, some of you are just working too hard. Four of Swords reversed, and a cyclical energy means there's no rest or break. The fact that we have all of these cards coming through showing that it's necessary to take a break and slow down, to me is an indication that some of you are working too hard and there might be a lack of good leadership there, okay? So you know what to do if you're falling in that particular camp. Finally, for those that want to launch or do something new, I feel like it's a great time to do it with both the Fountain, which is a wild card, and the Tower. Just make sure that you've planned out all of the potential resource requirements of that, okay? Creativity running really, really high, partnership energy putting you in a favorable position. And that's everything for those that are working. If you're seeking employment at this time, I think that when it comes through, when an option comes through, it comes out of left field. It's unexpected. Also, you may have to really look at the opportunity cost and the payment to make sure, like, when it comes to the negotiation table, that you're happy with what you're getting. There's more than one avenue that you can go down. There's the tried and true, which is to the right here, the Eight of Cups, and there's the unexpected, which is the Fountain, the Stargate card here. So you have to choose. Am I going to continue down this career path, or am I going to try the path less traveled? And that's up to you. That's something that you have to kind of sort out. I feel like change is the name of the game, and I think you need to change up where you're looking. For some of you, longer distance, like I've been seeing this for a couple of months, but looking beyond your current city, state, province, or country, travel is a component to this. The only thing that might happen on short-term contracts, by the way, I want you to make sure that you look at the fine print and that you're covered in case they decide to cancel the contract, that you get some sort of payment for that, because this is not super secure. So for freelance, I would prioritize like long-term stuff with like severance pay and all of that over freelance, because the freelance stuff could end up being shorter than you expected by a few weeks or a few months. So just wanted to kind of put a heads up with that. And then for some of you, there also is a chance to look at your living situation too, to make sure that, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, like research is key. We talked about sleeping on a decision. If you decide you want to move somewhere for school, for work, for a job, spend a week there. Really kind of decide, does it feel right to you? Do you like it? Get a second set of eyes or ears to accompany you. That could be really helpful if you're shopping for a new home. Again, if you're looking at a new place that you want to live, if you can bring a friend, that's going to be great, because there's so many changes and opportunities in front of you, it could be hard to concentrate. I think that word of mouth is really key to you finding the next job. A friend or a colleague could be the key that opens this door. I would say the one last thing is to look at the requirement for how many hours a week you need to work. For some of you, it may be a little bit more than you expect, and you just want to kind of sort that out. Now let's look at those that are we'll look at retired first. If you're retired, many of you are reevaluating your living situation. You may be thinking of downsizing. You may be thinking of traveling more. Maybe you want to liquidate some assets. Just make sure that you're not overdoing it. We talked about slowing down the spending. I would say just move forward with that sense of nothing's in a hurry. Get the best offer if you're trying to liquidate an asset and sell a house or sell a luxury item, or even move an investment around. This is saying be cautious, don't be hasty. And again, there are different types of travel that might be coming through. This can just be a short trip. We don't have to kind of like go across the world. Sometimes there's a lot that you can do for less, and this is exploring different ways to connect with all of that. The journey is far from over when you're retired. We can retire at any age now. The Fountain and the Two of Wands is about finding a new inspiration or a new path. And we see creative energy coming through. This could be artistic ventures. This could be you deciding to get a little bit more involved with art or something creative. And I'm all for that. Maybe even just finding love again. And we're not even in relationships, but some of you have decided, now I'm at a point in my life where I can focus more on the core relationship. Or if I've been putting everything else first, I want to put me first, and then I want to really grow the relationships in my life, both platonic and love. So that's a great energy coming through here. And a nice segue for us to take a look at love. So let's look at love next. And love hits all of those categories. We have the Peacekeeper coming through on this, and it says, let go of the need to be right. Some of you just don't have to be the peacekeeper anymore. I talked about the earlier cards here that when you choose the highest good, it's not always the path that people want, but the universe has your back here. And so it's important for you to, most importantly, peace of mind. Your own peace and quiet and happiness matters. You don't have to solve everyone's problems. Although people may come to you because you're kind, you're sensitive, you tell it to them the way it is, but you don't have to do this all the time, okay? We're looking at also your peace of mind, your energetic balance. Let's make sure that that's in the right place right now. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this in 3 components. We're going to look at those of you that are in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. If you're in a relationship, big changes. So for those of you that have been in a long-term relationship and you aren't married, this could be looking at possibly changing that up and deciding, are we going to get even more serious? Are we going to sign on the dotted line? Or some of you may want some space and some distance. It's one direction or another when we have the Fountain, the Eight of Cups, and the Tower. These are big, shifting, moving energies. It could also just be a little bit of auditing and soul searching and thinking, are we where we need to be? And I think that's a very normal thing to do in all levels of relationships, just to kind of see how can we do better? What are we doing right? Here's the good stuff. The Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups. It feels like you're coming forward with an open heart and an open mind, and I see a lot of love and support around you. It's just that there might be some other things that are creating some friction or movement. Again, a change in health, a change in job, a change in environment. And this puts the relationship to the test. If you can get through this, you've got it. If you are lacking the sort of support and communication right now, better to know now than later. That's one thing that I would say here. But the key thing here is to make sure that you're not letting the distance grow too much, that you sleep on major decisions again and talk to each other. Because I don't see the communication cards that I would normally expect here. I see the love and support, but we're lacking some of that. So just talk through some of these big changes. Be patient with one another and try not to talk when you've not had enough sleep or you're hungry. If you're hangry, hungry, angry, tired, don't have the conversation right then and there. Make sure that you're both in a nice, equal, balanced sort of energy. And I think that's going to be beneficial. But all things considered, if things are going well, this can just be a breakthrough, and it could be a proposal, and it could be a birth or something really positive. It's in the environment, and this is usually bigger, better, brighter. So we could see this Tower as something that's just bringing a blessing, an unexpected blessing. And it could be more of that if you're ready and willing for it. Could it put your life in a different zone? Yes. Anytime you add something to an equation, a baby, a pet, a new investment, anything like that, it can be a stressor in the relationship. But if you're built on something that can last, you'll be all right, okay? And that's what we really see here with the Two of Cups is communication and partnership. At least the partnership piece. We want to see more talking, as I said, but I feel like you guys can do that if you're interested. All right, now let's reset this and take a look at those of you that are seeking out love. Here's the interesting thing. Eight of Cups is not super committal. It's on again and off again. And it can be frustrating when dating sometimes. I mean, Three of Cups is a little clearer. It's saying like, we're going to go out on a few dates, feel out this energy, see if we vibe. The Eight of Cups is kind of like hot, then cold. You're going out for a few weeks or for a few months and then nothing for a while and then it's back on. And sometimes this intermittent wiper energy, like a windshield wiper, it creates this fragmented concentration, which we talked about earlier. And so for many of you, you have to think if that's sustainable and helpful in the long run. And if not, say what it is that you want. Give the other person time because we have patience, rest, space, but present what it is that you want and let them know if this is good enough. And if it isn't, it's good to know that, like I said earlier. Can you find love this month? Absolutely. Could it happen really fast? Yes. Could it get serious quickly? Yes. For some of you. Some of you are stuck in the intermittent cycle. Some of you are in this, oh my goodness, it's really serious. I think the key thing here is to take it slow and remember here that your own peace and quiet is what matters, so don't rush anything. I think for everybody this month, also don't get in the middle of things. That's important too, because the peacekeepers can sometimes end up kind of getting in the middle of a big argument or whatever. So state intention, give people time and space, see how you feel when the dust settles, but it feels like it's either intermittent or way too fast or way too slow. The Goldilocks energy is a little hard to accomplish here. So I feel like if you're single and looking, but you're patient and you're like, you know what, this month I could do some other things, single and happy is the area to be. Because here's what you can do. You can spend a lot of time planning and seeing opportunities, opening up doors, finding better balance, getting your health where you need to be, doing the personal healing that's necessary, having some fun, being creative. There's so many like beautiful cards of growth and development that are coming through. And maybe just figuring out what it is that you want to clear around you. Once that energy is cleared out, then you have a really good shot at relationship stability. So I think that single and looking, if it's amazing and you just feel like, yes, this is it, go for it. Otherwise, I feel like it's more leaning towards the suggestion is to focus on self-development, self-healing, and clearing out your energy, your spaces, your finances, all the stuff we talked about earlier, okay? In the Destiny space, we have power coming through, and this is basically the Strength card with a different illustration here. I'm featuring two different decks that look at this from two different perspectives. So today's deck has the sort of like traditional masculine approach here, no divine feminine in it, just masculine and masculine. And the Lightseer's deck here shows the nice combination of divine feminine and masculine. So what I'm seeing here for some of you could be pushing down the nurturing, sensitive, and receptive piece, which actually does a disservice to the Queen of Cups energy, which is coming through. So I'm interpreting this as a chance for you to be gentler with yourself and gentler with others. What I love about both of these interpretations is there is no domination. Normally we see a woman kind of opening up the mouth of the lion and trying to control it. In both of these, it's like, no, I encompass both energies. But this does a better job of showing the combination. There's still a little bit of old template here that's coming through where maybe there's just a fear of showing sensitivity. I think good leaders, good partners, good friends are also capable of showing the vulnerability, the sensitive side, and allowing themselves to basically be seen and be heard as they truly are. So I think that part of reclamation of power is just being vulnerable and sensitive when you need to be, okay? If there are people around you that make you feel less than because you are empathic, because you are sensitive, and because you are compassionate, it really speaks more to their own work that they need to do, and just take it with a grain or maybe a bag of salt and don't focus so much on them. That's my advice, okay? Let's go ahead now and take a deeper dive into sun, rising, and moon sign messages, and then we'll pull a bonus card for 2024. Let's focus first on the aforementioned sun, rising, and moon and see what's going on here. Synchronicity time, we got the Strength card. Okay, let's talk about it. In the sun sign, we have the 10 of Wands. It was reversed, but let's look at it upright for a second. We can see a person moving forward. This is a card of completion, but they're doing that with the energy of a wheel, almost like a wheel of fortune. You don't have to reinvent something. If it's working elsewhere, you can adapt that to your own life, for sure. If there are parts of your life where growth and movement is happening, you can leave well enough alone. This month gives you a chance, though, to also push through any stagnation and try new things when and if you want to. But you don't have to reinvent everything, and that's one thing here. This is also an encouragement to see something through to the finish line. You've made it this far. You can taste completion, success, and victory. Let yourself experience that. Don't let fear, anxiety, or feedback around you take you off that path. Ultimately, with this card, there is sometimes this burden that you might be carrying or this feeling of pressure. And if that's happening, lean on the support that seems to be coming through this month. Ask for help if you need to. But ultimately, this is a very favorable energy, and it shows that whatever you intend to do or see happen, you have a chance of seeing it to completion. You heard me laugh when I looked at the rising and ascendant because, lo and behold, we have the Strength card. In this particular one, it is peaceful, We don't see her opening the mouth of the lion. So I've shown you 3 different interpretations right now, none of them showing the struggle. So again, don't doubt yourself. That's one thing that we can see with this. You have what it takes, and now we actually have both sides of the coin here, divine feminine, divine masculine, 2 interpretations. This one was reversed, so don't deny yourself the chance, as I said earlier, to be empathic, sensitive, creative, or receptive. These are all powerful pieces of the yin and yang energy. We can't just be power. We can't just be execution. There has to be a softer side. That's coming out this month. And rising and ascendant a lot of times can touch the area of work and personal development. So strength is also sensitivity. For whatever reason, I need to say that again. Now, because this is coming through and it's more of a general card for you, can also be about dealing with your mind and body so that you are the strongest version of yourself that you can possibly be. Whether that means getting therapy, getting exercise, eating better, or just having a more sort of like positive outlook on life. Do what you need to do to embody the energy of strength. Ultimately, it is a victorious, strong, and powerful energy and card. So you've got what it takes. I'll say it one more time. All right, let's move on to moon sign messages. We've got the moon. The moon is in reverse. So it's looking at your fears and overcoming whatever sort of feeling of like, I can't do this or I can't see this. Yes, you can. This is the month to face things head on and to really say, if not now, then when? And the sooner I can do the internal healing, again, the sooner you can experience this beautiful expansion that wants to come through. This month, you cannot hide from the emotional component, okay? And it's going to be okay. The moon comes through to help us see what we need to focus. And it typically opens up a new path. Things that you want to avoid in this moment in time. Conflict, unnecessary conflict, I should say. And also any sort of, forced competition where you are either trying to catch up with someone or people are trying to pit you against someone and you're not feeling that. Really focus on healing and the path in front of you. Doing that will set you up for all the success that you need. All right, let's go ahead now and do a bonus card before we do the final card. This is all about 2024. Let's see what the year is bringing in, and then we'll do the final card. All right, so special bonus card for 2024. What has the year got to offer for Taurus? The Knight of Swords. Thank goodness I was looking for a card that had to do with communication. And as we're looking at this here, Knight of Swords in reverse, speaking up, speaking out, taking the necessary action, cutting through some of the nonsense. We can even see him doing that. This is typically a fast acting card, and surprise, surprise, with the reversal of this is saying don't rush. And also don't be afraid to question authority. All of these things are coming through. You are the voice of reason. Good change sometimes takes time because it's going to stick if you take your time and really do it right the first time. And communication, you might have to put yourself front and center. But all of these things are good. Change is happening, movement is happening, just a little slower at the beginning of the year than you might anticipate. I'll be with you all throughout 2024 so we can continue to take a pulse. But basically the first quarter of the year is looking like patience is key and communication also. Now you can ask your final question. What else would you like me to look at? Think about that final question, whatever it is that you might be struggling or seeking clarity on, and let's see what the universe has to say. Let me give it one more shuffle, and then we'll see what the answer is for you. All right, final question, change. Change without a doubt. We have the death card coming through here, and we can't even see the rider. We just see the horse. We can infer that, the angel of transformation is on that horse, but the change that you're looking for, the movement that you're looking for, it hasn't all kind of come into focus. That does not mean that it isn't happening, because if we go back to your catalyst cards, you have to have that faith that divine intervention is happening, and then trust in the process. Things will happen exactly in the cosmic timing that they need to. I can sense that some of you are frustrated with how quickly or how slowly things are moving, but have faith. It's exactly where it needs to be. Now, the death card also, if you're asking for a yes or no, this is basically saying, yes, change is necessary. Or no, you can't kind of stay in the old thing. You have to kind of embrace something new. It's also just a chance for growth. It would be nice if this was just like a chrysalis and you could see like a butterfly starting to come out, because that's what I see the death card as. It's a chance for you to explore something different. So, you know, on the heels of this Knight of Swords card, this is saying slow down long enough to ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this good for me? And if it is, continue. And if it isn't, try something new. This is a breakthrough month. This is a month to really kind of go bigger and better. And if not, then to go in a different direction altogether. All right. I'm excited to see what January ends up being for many of you. Keep me posted in the comments below. And I'm here for you as we take this journey into the new year. I hope you enjoyed this reading, by the way. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and then opt into notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. You can also give me a follow on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, spelled like you see here. No additional changes in that. And if you ever need assistance, you can always go to my website, and all of my official social handles are there as well. Quick reminder, I do not offer any private readings. Sometimes people will reach out and pretend to be me on social media platforms. So if you get a direct message, block, report, ignore, and then leave a message here so I know that that's happening. If you want to give back, you can do it through an official channel right here by clicking the super sticker, super chat, the like button, or even by becoming a member, which is a great way to unlock perks like being able to ask me questions on some of our members only chats. Lots of cool stuff like that. So thank you in advance if you choose to do that. My publishing schedule, unless otherwise noted, is Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We're in the holidays, so sometimes that'll shift a bit. I do a daily reading as well, and I also do a live stream every Sunday, and you're welcome to come. It's around 9 or 9:15 every Sunday, and that's AM Pacific time, and I hope to see you there. All right, everybody, have a great one. Thank you for spending some time with me. I know you have a lot of choices here on YouTube. Thanks for being the best part of what I do here. Much love and light to you. Happy holidays, Happy New Year whenever you happen to see this, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.